Hello you guys, I'm H.A.R.O coming back with another video. On this video, what I want to talk about, is the power of the media, okay? Power of the media. I've talked about this, last year, and I don't really go heavy in that because I know a lot of people just isn't interested in the media, right? But the media, using the media could be a fantastic, like a marketing point or a source of a marketing point to use in terms of driving traffic, right? Now, media isn't as expensive as it may used to be thanks to the likes of the internet, right? But if you can get yourself featured on a radio, a local radio, telling about your business, and this is for any business, guys, not necessarily just commercial cleaning, residential cleaning, but for whatever business, if you can get yourself featured, on the radio, right? Discussing your business, how you can be assistance to others, whatever the case is. If you can get yourself featured in the news, right? Your local news, you don't even have to be a national news outlet, national broadcasting station or anything like that, just the local news, right? If you can get yourself featured in maybe like a business magazine, like a little article or a newspaper or anything of the sort like that, those can be fantastic ways to help drive new clientele to your business. It'll be absolutely amazing if you can just get yourself in a little article or get yourself featured on the news. Your phone will get to blowing up, guys. I know this for a fact, right? This is factual, right? The thing is that, and it also help you create that brand recognition, like create the brand, for your city, your state, or whatever the case is, right? You can kind of get your name out there. So whereas people didn't know you before, now that you started being featured in papers or being featured in the media some way, this is not to turn you into a rock star. We're not trying to say you're going to be the next whoever, Kim Kardashian, right? Or whatever the case is. We're not trying to turn you into that, but it does help when people know who you are. They just deal with you different, right? Like in my business, I can kind of move as I go, a lot of places that I go into, but I'm all over the place. So visibility is my thing, right? In my section, in my area, Toledo, Ohio, certain areas like that, right? And then I'm always networking and things like that. But like I say, if we're just talking about specifically about the power of branding yourself through the media, I think this would be a fantastic tool for you guys to use. Because like I say, number one, is really, really inexpensive. You can start with just social media, right? The social media platforms. You do something on social media, right? It's easy to pitch the story because it's already in social media. You can do what they call a tie-in. So in other words, or hooks, where you tie into another story that's already active, or bring another angle. They call it an angle, where you have a different perspective about a story that's already been presented in the news, right? So you can have a hook. You can have a evergreen segment. The evergreen segment is just something totally new, right? Something that you pitch to the media. It's totally fresh. It's totally new. It's a whole new story. In other words, it's not tied into a local story that's already going on or a national story, right? So again, guys, like I say, you can do a little research about public relations and getting PR. It's a fantastic tool to use. When people know who you are, people deal with you differently, right? A lot of times you don't have to go over the hooks and curves that other people may have to go through, because you're already like a recognizable force, in your industry, whatever it is. I don't care if you do hair. I don't care if you're a mechanic. I don't care what you do. People will start coming to you. And like I say, this is different than actual advertising on the radio, guys. This is different than actual advertising in the newspaper, advertising on the radio, right? Advertising on TV, right? This is totally different, right? Whereas those mediums, those platforms, it'll cost you quite a few dollars to go ahead and advertise yourself through those mediums. You can go ahead and pitch a story to a radio, right? Have them pick your story up, right? Bring you into the studio, do a little interview with you. You talk about your business and things of that sort. Kind of get the brand aware, get your company out there, get your name out there. Like I say, once again, the same thing with the newspapers, right? I remember a long time ago, I had I wasn't even really sure myself. I had this group in my local area. It's a hip hop group, right? And this is the first time I took a stab at doing PR, right? So I got them written up in a paper called Native Son, right? It's a local free paper out here in Detroit, right? So I got them written up, an article in the paper, and then at the time I had them literally, no cap, I had them booked for Jay Leno, right? So it's a local hip hop there, put you in the mind of Rakim and Eric B. They conscious rap, like that type of rap, right? So I took a stab. I just called the station. I did the legwork that I needed to do, and I was actually able to get them picked up for the Jay Leno. But then they got cold feet. They didn't want to, like the Jay Leno and them. They pay for the plane. They pay for everything and get you out there, right? But they got cold feet, and I wasn't even sure that I was going to be able to do that, right? But because I was working as their publicist, and I just wanted to see, what my levels were. I wanted to see if I was capable of doing that. And like I say, I had them booked. After that, it kind of messed up the relationship, right? So we're not as tight today. I see them here and there, but we're not as tight today because I felt like I had you guys booked for the Jay Leno show. You know how many people on a national basis would have loved to take that opportunity? So that just kind of show you how long that's been. But anyway, again, it's just me thinking outside of the box. Like that group, I believed in the group. I liked the music. I was bumping their music, right? Promoting their music, helping them, from the public relations stand. So I figured, like, hell, I got them booked in. I got them in a couple newspapers, Metro Times, etc., etc. The Native Sun, they was written up in there. So I'm like, wait, I'm getting them into papers. I'm like, well, let me take a step. Let me see if I can go national with them. So I did the legwork, call the networks and different things like that, seeing what I had to do to get them booked for the Jay Leno. And I actually got them booked. I actually had the Jay Leno producers call me back, but then they got cold feet. They wouldn't even take the flight, and Jay Leno and them pay for it. So it was crazy. But anyway, like I said, guys, you want to do something different. That's a way that you guys can put yourself in a whole different league, set yourself on a whole different level by putting yourself in the media. Like I said, it's not about to be fame or to be famous or anything like that. That's going to come as a byproduct. You're going to be what they call just a celebrity entrepreneur, kind of like what your lawyers are. I ask people this all the time on my coaching. I say, how many? I say, you probably can give me about 5 lawyers, or how many lawyers do you see on TV, whether they're advertising or in the media? You probably can give me at least 5, right? And people are like, yeah, I can give you about 3, 4, maybe 5, lawyers that I see on a regular basis. I say, now if I ask you how many commercial cleaning companies do you see in the media, you probably couldn't give me one, right? They say, well, to be honest, Fabio, no, I don't see commercial cleaning advertising, or I don't see them, in the media or getting booked in the media. So I say, why not you, right? Just because it haven't been done, don't mean it can't be done, right? You just have to be the first to do it. Okay, so you will begin to be the one to set the industry standard in your area, right? So if people see your story, let's say in the local newspaper, right? You're gonna start, trust me, you're gonna start getting traffic phone calls. People gonna want to book. People gonna want estimates and quotes and different things to this story. So that's gonna come. That's gonna come, right? And the more you do that, the more you put yourself out there. So when people think of commercial cleaning, just like they think of this certain lawyer for medical malpractice or whatever the case is, they know instantly, I'm gonna call this lawyer, right? Because why? Because they see this lawyer in the media. They see this lawyer always advertising on TV. We're talking about just straight media. Again, that's different than advertising, guys. Okay, so I don't want to get the two mixed up. I'm talking about when you pitch a story to your local news, or you pitch a story to the newspaper, they write an article up on you, right? Or a magazine, they write an article up on you. You can use that as a byproduct and then piggyback off of a story to help yourself get more stories, if that makes sense. So in other words, if you're going to pitch yourself to, I don't know, Fox 2, right? Or WDIV Channel 4 in Detroit, but you was already written up in, let's say, the Detroit News or the Detroit Free Press, right? You can kind of piggyback off of the Detroit Free Press article and send that as like an attachment in conjunction with your media release, right, to the outlet, or your press release to the news outlet, and they'll be picking up your story. The easiest way to kind of get on the news now is not through press release, like, really anymore. Like, if you can send them a link to something that you already have going on social media, your work or video or things like that, you send it directly to the morning producer or the evening producer, right, of the morning show for the news. It'll work a lot better than you doing it the old-fashioned way, where they send press releases and different things like that. Because media is working a little bit different now. the fact that the internet is just so big and so huge. That's how a lot of the media outlets is getting their news, through social media or through the World Wide Web, the internet. Okay, so like I said, guys, we can always talk more about it. I didn't want to kind of go too far about it, but like I say, please be open-minded and getting to know the power of the media, right? The power of media, dealing with media. That has set the tone in your area, especially if you're in a little small town area, right? You're in your just a little smaller sections in your state, right? That'll help you big time, because I guarantee you that it's not a lot of people doing it. The franchises is not doing it. You don't hear about the franchises in the media and how great of a company that they are, what they're doing for the community and different things like that, right? But why not you? You could be the first one to do that, right? So like I said, you could use the power of the radio, the power of newspaper, the power of television, and even social media platforms, right? You can subscribe to the PR Newswire. You can also subscribe to H.A.R.O. Is it H.A.R.O? Help a reporter out. Yeah, H.A.R.O. Help a reporter out. Yeah, H.A.R.O. You're gonna subscribe to there, send a release to them, and who knows, you might get picked up because they're on an international basis, basically. And who knows who may call you or contact you to pick your story up, right? Especially if you have a compelling story, you have something newsworthy. It has to be newsworthy, right? Now, you're not selling the media into what you're doing, but you want to offer something that the producers or that the media outlet could use for its subscribers or viewers, right? Something that's educational, something that'll bring awareness, something that'll bring attention, something newsworthy, right? Okay, that's going to wrap it up for now, guys. Again, this is talking about the power of the media. I'm Fabio Hart. The only person that could ever stop you from starting up your own dreams and making it to the top is you. Take care.